Oh man, G-Clef, I'm pretty
What's
sure
up?
Swoy's like reading Envin right now.
Or
He's like,
Reddit.
He's like, oh god, we didn't do good in those games. Never do that as a pro gamer or a caster. Is just like read the internet while you're
Or
playing
he's
a
just
series.
chilling his mind and he's just coming back.
He's looking at cat photos. I hope so. Maybe that's what I do to calm down. So, well, we'll see if the series can be brought back to life here for L5. It's been pretty dominant for Tempest so far. The game's not one-sided, but the drafting seems to be.
Drafting seems to be because the hero pools of all these 5 before L5, when they originally even formed the team, they knew each other from the very beginning. But of course, having 2 new members in and a week of time given for them to actually have everything sorted out with the coordination cannot be completed with the time amount they were given. So I think this is a very good challenge for them. But later on, they have to face MVP Black again on Sunday. So that will be the biggest challenge. But if they drop all 3-0s against Tempest today and Black, that will be a very, very tough road for them.
Yeah, devastating. They'll probably have to fight through the playoffs if that is the case. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. It's still very early. We're only in day 1 of week 2. But, you know, it starts to feel like some questions could be raised for L5's new roster. The drafting, though, I think is the big problem. SC's Tracer play was good overall, but they couldn't deal with Malthael's extra damage, the double Greymane clones. You look at like on an individual level. You know, I saw comments people saying Hooligan was playing trash. It's not true. Like, he was playing fine, but the draft didn't allow those players to have really high mechanical skill to actually do what they're best at. So the drafting has been better in this series by Tempest, I feel very much so. And we'll just have to see as this series goes on what map we're going to and how they're going to pick this up. We're going to Sky Temple here for Game 3.
All
so
right.
Let's see how this one plays out.
Sky Temple, of course, Tempest used to play lots of Probius when DuckDuck was on the roster, but with now H82, maybe they can bring in Artanis once more on Sky Temple. Or maybe H82 also has his secret Probius plays here. Who knows?
I doubt it, but maybe.
The hero of the day today, also pretty strong in this battleground because you are forced into a fight on that circle, on that temple. So you're likely to get hit by the melee and get % damage. So very hard to do. Malthael will be very highly contested once more.
Well, I think that for L5, they need to focus on their first picks, need to be flexible. Why is Uther first pick so strong? The main reason is because he works with almost every hero very well. He has an insane output of healing. Why is Ariel first picked? Well, you have to draft around the Ariel. You have to find heroes that she can build hope with. And if you have a plan, even when your normal planning goes wrong, that you could draft with the Ariel, that's when you see it first pick. When you pick the Tastar first, and you don't have anything to pair with it, and the Mouth and Uther are taken away from you, Illidan's already removed, then the Tastar pick doesn't gain value. The Tracer comes in afterwards, and you look at the Battlefield of Eternity game, and you go, okay, well, this was a risky choice. Genji is obviously very powerful here, but we're going to have to wait and see what L5 brings with him. They've already removed the Uther. We'll see what sort of support they're going to get with this. They want to draft the Ariel again with the Genji. I worry for them. And now the world is Tempest's oyster. They could go into the Ariel Vala early on, remove that from L5. They have a lot of different opportunities. Not saying this draft is over or anything like that, but I want to focus really hard on how L5 decides to approach this draft because they pigeonholed themselves very early on both Dragonshire and Battlefield of Eternity. As we move now into Sky Temple, I know the map graphic is not in English for you guys. We're going to try to say the map more often in these drafts. I know a lot of people get confused because, surprise, surprise, most Western viewers can't speak Korean, but...
That's right. And L5 with this new roster, I think they have to find the right color for them. So far, I'm not really following yet on what they want to really accomplish with the team draft. Last game, I think they had an okay draft, but they have to complete it like before. When you think of L5, it was mostly around Vala, sometimes with his Stitches, even Lunara Tracer coming in with Illidan. But with this new roster, I think they have to find some time to find their color and bring it against the other teams. And put that aside, Tempest grabbing Malfurion.
Well, the support choke against them isn't really
already
a possibility, so with the early Malf here, I think that's one of their concerns. And it's going to be the Dahaka for obviously the extra global, which is super important on this map. It used to be Falstad, then it was Falstad and Dahaka. Now Falstad is out, so it's Dahaka only. And for L5 here, a lot of time spent on this one. It's going to be the Abathur Anubarak. So I like the way they're approaching this one a lot more. They're bringing in pairings.
Ooh.
Oh. So
surprise, surprise.
There's a disconnect here. That's fine.
Abba Genji was way too powerful. So we're back in the lobby. And
sorry. I just need a moment to write this down. The lobby looks like it was disconnected from our observer. That's what it said in the chat. Anyways, if I read that
it seemed
correctly.
like one of the players actually logged out. I read the chat, so I don't know what exactly happened, but Malfurion after the nerf, without the cleanse, still very strong, less healing coming out, of course, and without the cleanse, but the real power is the Twilight Dream. Twilight Dream giving CC the silence and also the CC the root. That's what makes Malfurion super strong, but it is nerfed. I don't think Malfurion is that top on the draft right now, especially with the new patch. Of course, with the upcoming patch, even Uther will drop down a little bit. I was very surprised. It seemed like they were trying to hide lots of things from the beginning of the draft.
Well, I mean, looking at what they have right now is they have a Nubarak, which is very powerful. You can, of course, lock down the support, which is often what happens. You could take Dahaka out of the fight when he brush stalks in. Then you have the Genji and the Abathur, which harass, roam around on this map. On a big map like this, it's very important. So we're just going to repeat the draft with the same picks. So it's just going to fly by as we have the same lock-ins.
Seems like they were thinking about Stitches with the Dahaka CC, with the global. No, they picked Malfurion first and Dahaka later. They changed it. Same picks for now, and I believe they also chose their ban. We heard the sound, but the screen changed. Zeratul ban.
Okay, Zeratul ban.
Of course, Abba Zeratul is also a very somewhat global threat in a way because it's stealth.
We saw this double Genji Zeratul with the Abathur do a lot of work when Genji was first released at the end of Phase 1. So this is a scary comp that you would be worried about in the past when you're dealing with Hooligan or you're dealing with Good on the Zeratul, for example. So not a crazy question to have this removed. The Tyrael, a little bit of I'd say it's a safe ban, but it's not a powerful ban. Both of these bans, the Zeratul ban and the Tyrael ban, are not like, aha, now your draft is ruined, or I see what you're doing there. It's just a safe ban. You don't want them to have these powerful synergies to work with.
And Tyrael now, not just Sanctification, Judgment is also a very powerful tool. So limiting that out of the way. Also Sanctification, when the Dragon Blade pops off, if you just drop that R onto the ground will literally save all of your teammates from the constant damage from the Dragon Blade.
I wonder what sort of DPS now comes out here for Tempest. With Tyrael banned, it kind of weakens and really cheapens the Greymane pick. So
I think this,
when you have Li Ming available, but into a Genji and an Anubarak doesn't feel that strong.
the old Tempest style will be very likely to be Taika's. Well, that's the Greymane, of course, with the new meta. The old style would have been Taika's, and I lost my train of thought on the other one, but
Li Ming?
Taika's is in Stitches, actually.
Oh, you're talking about, yeah, like not that old, but like older.
On the older patch.
So even though they lost Tyrael, they still want to draft into the Greymane. It's going to be Chen with the Rhaegar, so a lot of extra soak with this. Very aggressive Abathur Chen, very dive heavy. You've got the Genji here, the Rhaegar for the extra boosted heals on both the frontliners. So this is going to be a really solid draft for L5. This is the first draft for L5 seen in the series where I go, okay, this one gets 2 thumbs up. I see what you did there. I can see the plan from start to finish.
They have the sustain. They have a lot of sustain from Chen just soaking up all that tempo by himself. Anubara coming in, and Genji can just poke from the side and look for the opportunity to get the kills, get the reset with Abathur Hat on top of himself. That's the style I wanted to see from L5 coming out. But if they try to get picks with Stitches, again, I think that will be the niche pick. But it has to be all-in Greymane then. So it looks like they will go for that secondary source of damage.
Yeah, it's like, I don't even know where you go to here. Arthas would be the go-to pick, probably. Well, they go with Stitches instead because of the hooks. This is risky. Every hero that they can grab has a really decent escape, and they're not grabbing Abathur, okay? Anubrak, Burrow charges away, Chen jumps away or just sits there because he doesn't care. Rhaegar goes into wolf form and escapes. Genji just dashes away. The synergy between the stuns, the roots, and the tongue grabs have to be 100%. Otherwise, I think L5 has the vastly superior draft. They've got good sustained, insanely powerful frontliners here. And as you said, Greymane probably has to build all in, possibly into the Wisdom Duelist stacks. We've seen Honkono go for all of this best of 5, probably do it again. But guys, can Tempest, with an upset win here, take the 3-0? We're going to find out right now on Sky Temple. In blue, it is L5, Hooligan on Anubrak, SC on Genji, Chen Blade by Junga, SDE on Abathur, and Soy on Rhaegar.
And in red, Tempest, hide on Valkyrian, Honkono on Greymane, lockdown on Tastar, Sign on Stitches, and H82 on Dehaka. They needed some CC at the very end, so of course Stitches can cancel the drinking coming out from Chen. Well, L5 was less likely. I mean, Tempest was less likely to pick ETC, which is very out of the meta right now. There's a hook on the swipe. Perfect root. That's going to be a kill for sure from the very beginning.
Yep, even though it's Rhaegar, when you have the root like that, and you're also dealing with a 4-man all in one place, that's how it goes.
Abathur came in for the help at the perfect timing, but not enough.
Yeah, just a slight amount of extra healing there from the symbiote, the shields. So we're going to have the Shandos, of course, available here for cooldown reduction. It'll allow a lot more hooks for Stitches, whoever they end up using it on. Honkono does build into the Wolf part at level 1. Wolf Run.
They're going in hard on this wall, though. They did some damage. Genji coming out from the side with Abathur hat.
Ooh,
the
the stuns!
Stun on Honkono.
And there's just not enough healing here coming out from Hyde. The root is nice, though. They got the slows, though, with the lockdown auto attack. Still not good enough, though. But yeah, Wolf Run going to give a lot more rotational power to punish plays like this. As I was going to say, as it happened live, the Wolf Run's going to give the extra movement, the faster rotation on this big map. And finally, we do see the respawns coming in. The respawn in the Hearth. Honkono, they're going to head top. It's going to be Abathur staying in mid. Taking in the extra soak to use that symbiote. Might send him bot if he has a teleport available to Burrow. So they're going to take control of this. It's just Dehaka pushing the top lane. He's going to be traded, but more soak. Actually, looks like it's going to be triple soak all 3 lanes for Tempest, sending Tastar now bot.
They're not really contesting as they know Chen will be just soloing Temple on top the entire time. Dehaka cannot contest because he knows that Genji is around him. Soaking up everything, Abathur is on the other side. Actually, I think at the end of this temple phase, L5 actually coming for a contest because Chen is almost done, and he's done with the temple phase.
Well, this is going to be a trying moment here for SC. If he gets hooked, this could be the end of him.
Because Rhaegar is not here.
Okay, he does get out, but this is a big win for Tempest. And they get just the slightest of ever slight EXP leads from this because they had more soak going on in the bot lane and mid. As you can see, they kind of get ahead about maybe 15%, 20% going towards level 6. So very, very close trade there, but obviously Tempest got the slight edge from this as this game has been pretty close.
Pretty close indeed. And in terms of wave clear, I think Tempest has better wave clear overall with Slam build and also Tastar, Greymane, of course, with Dehaka. So L5 has to really go around and take care of all the lane pressures before they are forced into other macro plays because Tempest is already having global with Dehaka. If they don't take the lead from the beginning of the game, I think Tempest can use that as their weapon to actually out-macro the entire team of L5.
Yeah, this is where Swoy's going to have this extra burden of wave clear, where he's going to be looking to deal with this Merc camp on top, for example, that was cleared much faster for Tempest. He has Wolf Run and he has Feral Heart, so he has the extra sustain on mana. Not going to have to hearth as much while he's on clear duty. But these are important things. Nice dodge here for SC. This time gets away from the root. Much faster clear because of the wave clear here now on the Siege Giants for Tempest. And once these are cleared, they're going to have that pressure here going into the second Temple phase. Blind hook here for Sign. The trust that was not founded. So this next phase is going to be 10 for the winner. And if Tempest, with this push here, with the 1 Siege Giant, can get the healing well, that would be so huge for them. No ammo on this tower, and it looks like they really just want to commit to this. And L5 is going to have to respect this. If they let this go, they're going to have a big disadvantage for healing when that phase comes up. And look at this, already going for the healing well. This is such a huge moment right now for Tempest.
They're going for a long, long game. Rehgar is solo camping to have that wave, clearing the wave pressure so that Dehaka cannot join for the team fight later on, as Tempest will have the temple controlled from the beginning.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's definitely be a lot stronger for pressure in lane than what Tempest just did, but the extra healing is going to be an issue, as basically all of the members of Tempest, if they don't get picked, will have an extra health bar here, as that wall is even full up here, so SC had to use Deflect, otherwise he would have been really chunked down by the extra cannon towers here. So huge advantages for this temple for Tempest, and they're just going to leave Dehaka to clear that top for now.
Because of that, actually, Chen did get the fort, pressured all the way into the fort, damaged Dehaka severely also.
So the lane pressure advantage to L5, and I don't know if Tempest has actually equalized this with this temple. They do get the bot fort, but that was not necessarily fully from the temple. And they did, they kept the EXP even because Dehaka's been up there with Chen the entire time. They send Tastar up there now as well. So it's going to be really even, just two different approaches. And one of the cool things about Heroes, it always has been, is that there are objectives on every map. They're very strong, but you can actually avoid taking the objective. You can find another way to push the map into your favor. In this case, the camp timing here, the solo camp from Rehgar, is just part of the reason why he's chosen. That's how they get the fort. So a fort for a fort, dead even basically on EXP here. As we do see Wizened Duelist coming out again for the Greymane. They go for the throat. Stitches and Dehaka, they're holding in for the time being.
Yeah, speaking of time being, they're holding really well, countering Dehaka's global with all the camp timings, the tempo pressure. Really, L5 on top of the macro play, they could have been falling behind if they could not make the perfect core calls, but let's just take a look at HG2 gets all the damage from Shuriken.
Okay, here we see Odin. Sorry, not Odin.
We did hear similar sound to Odin.
Yeah, what was that? What was that sound? That was just like my caster brain. I'm like, I'll just say Odin because like I hear the sound. I'm going to play-by-play mode. I don't know what that was. Maybe that was, I don't know.
It's the bikini stitches, man.
What was that transformation?
Isolation again.
Yep, gonna be isolation here.
I'm guessing whenever Anubarak or even Genji dives in, it's gonna limit his vision to actually turn things around. I think that's a solid pick when you have Tastar and Stitches on your team. I think it's a lot better on Tempest's side right now.
Oh, you know, I think it was Dehaka, wasn't it? His adaptation coming in. I think that's what that actually was. So I'm gonna be forced to use Bio here. Looking for the hook over the wall, maybe? The Dragon Blade stopped. He doesn't have dash, doesn't get any resets, and not only does he live, but they keep the healing fountain alive. Yeah, it's the Cyber Anubarak. Okay. Mystery solved.
Yes.
So stole the same sound from Odin, guaranteed. Well, there's a lot of mecha in here. They got the synergy with the mecha Tassadar, the mecha Cyber Anubarak, or Dehaka, sorry. Cyber Anubarak is also cool, but Hooligan's not using it.
Not this time, and Sign's going all in for the temple because they are losing the top one.
Oh, can he get the hook? Oh, so close.
Even use cleanse for it, so I knew what was coming.
Yeah, it's like, so if you've played this game enough, you know, like, okay, this is the exact bro charge distance. I wait till it's finished, then I get the hook.
But this is the gank attempt onto H82. No adaptation! We'll get picked off for sure.
Dehaka flying into the ceiling. Whoa. That's going to be a nice pick. The adaptation being missing has been a big problem for Dehaka players today. Seems like we've been seeing some small meta shifts today with the Cho'Gall meta, the Dehaka moving into isolation, continual Greymane usage of Wizened Duelist over the more traditional builds. Just things to note.
Yep, L5, I think Dehaka has not been too powerful in pushing lane, and he's now far pressured onto the top lane because of all the Chen. He can't really contest against Chen solo lane. He cannot use the global to fight the team fight because L5 is basically not fighting, not fully team fighting, just keeping the Chen entire time, just having the macro fights against Tempest right now, and Tempest is losing the macro fights for sure. L5 is known as the team, even with the new roster. It's kind of interesting and fun to actually watch them keeping their same style with the new roster too.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really, it's a new roster, but it's only half new with Honkono here. It just feels familiar, right? Honkono is going to get set up here, though. Going to lose his only Wiz and Duelist stack. Hyde is caught as well.
And
no ability to use Twilight Dream.
And HGC, by the time he came over, everything was already over.
Yeah, this is sloppy. Lockdown's going to get caught, too. I'm not entirely sure what was going on in comms for this one, but it wasn't correct, let's just say. He's going to have another dimensional shift, maybe? No, not even.
And lost all his stacks onto the Duelist, too.
Yeah, well, it was only the one, but still, I mean, this is significant. They're not able to control the game with the Dahaka anymore. They're losing team fights. And this is step one to losing the late game. If this continues, now this boss is going to be taken. Going to just immediately go to the keep wall. The fort is already almost dead. HA2 just trying to soak what he can. But this is looking dire for Tempest now. Down 1-5. Being kills.
As Tempest is really having a tough time looking for a team fight in L5. They don't want to team fight. They don't have to team fight. They can give the clone up. They can give kind of burst damage with Genji clone. And also if they don't want to give Genji clone, then they can just have more tanks with Chen, double Chen, soaking in from the front line. And SCSC looks pretty swifty on Genji right now.
Well, I mean, this is a really strong push. You've got the Siege Giants in the back. Jongha's going to dive in, tank those keep shots. Unfortunately, though, gets caught there. Do see the cocoon is used on the Honkono. There's not really anything accomplished from that. So all they get is the keep wall, which is pretty standard. Sanger have the blind hook here. Does hit Jongha. Thought he was in the blind hook over the wall to try to grab SC, which would have been equally as weak. Considering, as I said from the beginning, everyone on the side of L5 has an escape, basically. So Stitch's pick, perhaps not as strong as some of the other picks they could have gone with here. 16 around the corner here for Tempest would be huge for them, especially for Greymane. Here's the dive in. Huge Twilight Dream in the ice block, though. The Ancestral, though, is real. Anubrak still the first to fall. Dragon Blade isn't enough here, and this fight is turned for the side of Tempest. Jongha, Earthstorm and Fire here is going to expire. Now he's going to struggle to tank up. Honkono escapes here, but he's in the minion wave. Dies to the minions. Loses those stacks he just got, and now finally they're going to finish the fight here on to Chen. So a big win, this time for Tempest. Had he survived, had Honkono survived, this would have been massive. Would have gotten all those stacks for Wiz and Duelist, but they are going to retake the temple here, grab a fort, and catch up in EXP.
That was well done by Tempest. The Haka knowing the time to come in, actually isolating the perfect target too. And Twilight Dream, that's what makes, as we mentioned, that's what makes Malfurion still so strong. Silencing all those zeros, and without all the skills, they can't escape, they can't give shields to each other. So, knowing that, and Honkono going all in, he basically knew he was going to die anyhow, and really trusting his teammate, having those shields, went full in, did all the damage before he died, and that's how Tempest was able to win that team fight.
Yeah, I mean, the bolt is removed. You don't have any bolt Twilight Dreams, but when everyone comes to you, it's like you got the bolt Twilight Dream, the ice block, come out, drop the heals afterwards. Honkono almost got out there. If the Tyrael wasn't banned, imagine this team fight with the Tyrael instead of the Stitches. Oh, just gets me hyped thinking about it. So anyways, now we have the upgraded Greymane. He's got his level 16. The splash is going to come in at 20. So he has Executioner basically doing the extra damage to slowed targets, which is going to be really easy to do when Tasser just has to click on them in order to slow them. The roots coming in, etc. The slam. So it really synergizes with the composition, which is part of the reason why they grabbed the Stitches that you have to imagine with the slam build coming out here. Also the Bile. So Honkono is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the next fight. Imagine if he also had the Wiz and Duelist at the same time as this. So we're going to see how the fights take place now as we move into this next one. It's just kind of a passive mid-game now, or I'd say we're almost at late game, where there's no objectives on the map really except the Siege Giants. And
they're actually going for it.
They're going to steal it. This is actually wise for L5 because they saw the rotation mid because they had vision. So they're just going to get this for free. There isn't anything else to do on the map at this stage, so
and
nice
perfect,
bonus.
And perfect spawn for the temple, actually. They will get the bottom push, then mid and top temple spawning at the same time. Favoring L5 actually very hard, as they will... So they're making the big rotation already, Stitches and Greymane, while Pyrian, 3 of the members coming down to take care of this golem. Giants, I should say, before the temple phase starts. But L5 will get those first few shots for sure, for free.
Well, Hooligan slows down this rotation in. This is going to be a tense moment. The winner of this team fight will get a keep at worst case scenario. Could see more. Jonga not really the best target to grab here as Hooligan dives in deep, waiting for that silence. There it is, Hyde. Does he self-heal? Doesn't get the ice block off, however, so is the first to die. That's no more healing on the side of Tempest. They only have shields here. SC gets a deflect off here. The Dragon Blade doing a ton of damage. Honkono, no stacks. He goes down. H82 in lockdown trying their best to carry this fight, but it is already over. And this is disastrous now for Tempest. Lockdown survives, but if he doesn't get the Hearth home, he might as well have died. He's just prolonging his death timer. They're not even going to deal with him. They're just going to go straight to the keep. They may even go straight to the core.
Yeah, they have Chen for the sustain, the damage, and Avatar still live and perfectly done. I think they want to go core. Tastar alone cannot defend this for sure. They were 20 up against 19, so Tempest was into a hard fight, but at the end, of course, L5 with the Dragon Blade perfectly done, and SCSC escaping at the right moment. And Chen did so much damage, also building into the kick build, losing Rehgar, but that will be the core for sure.
Game.
L5 coming back into series.
Yep, only one shield coming in for lockdown, not going to protect the core though. This Tassadar and SDE and his teammates here will bring us to a game 4. By the way, my apologies, that was not Executioner, but it was Alpha Killer there on Honkono for that build there. I got the icon mixed up because obviously the icon is for Executioner. It just looks like the normal sword, but similar color, I guess. I don't know. Give me the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, L5 bouncing back. I am liking this. Their macro play on that map was insane.
I think that they had the overall more coordinated team fights. Honkono was picked too many times, and this is one of those talents that we talk about all the time, Wizen Duelist, where it either looks amazing and you kill it and you snowball the game with it and you just become stronger and stronger, or you look silly for picking it in the first place. And this was the latter, I would say, as he just didn't really find his strides in those team fights, was focused early. I guess that Hyde didn't have Ice Blog in that last team fight because he certainly didn't use it. He went into the Amazing Twilight Dream, hit 3. It wasn't amazing. It was decent, okay? But didn't have the Ice Block afterwards, so just immediately died. He was focused down, and the fight just snowballed after that in terms of sustain. Yeah,
it was more of... I think L5 had a pretty good draft against the Greymane coming out. Honkono tried to do a lot of damage, maybe against Leeming, against Vala, Lunara, the squishy targets. He can get a kill for sure, by himself. But against Chen, Anubarak, Genji who can just escape whenever he wants to, and Anubarak holding and shielding, doing more damage for the entire team. I think L5 smartly drafted against the Greymane comp of Tempest, and I think they brought the macro play up on the level of back the old L5 with the new roster. I think they can bounce back on the series. Maybe we'll see a reverse sweep.
It could happen. It could happen. It's only one game they've won, so like
yes, but
slow down, Chico.
Still, I was very excited for game number 3 to see their very coordinated macro play. Of course, SC coming in as a new shot caller.
I think if we think about how that last game went, I think a reasonable map choice would be Towers of Doom here. Towers of Doom or Cursed Hollow. Bring the macro play in. Go for those really crisp timings and rotations, delay tactics.